Hello, everybody. I thought I would be artistic and start with the blinking of the clicker. The clicking of the blinker? I guess both works. Anyway, welcome to another mobile episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Now, these mobile episodes, let me tell ya, they used to be Plan B, they're turning into Plan A. I feel like I've really figured out the setup. I don't listen back to these podcasts much, so I can't tell you the audio quality. I can't do that. Is it good audio quality? Is it bad audio quality? I'm not quite sure. But we're trying our best. Listen, I act as if I am the most busiest person in the world. I'm not. But here's what I am. I am a dedicated, safe driver. Now, I could turn off my indicator thing for audio quality, but that would not be safe. I could not look an officer in the eye and say, I don't deserve a ticket for not signaling my, intended path because I was recording a podcast. You should subscribe. Now, maybe by the end, even if I accepted defeat, accepted the ticket, I could have been listen, let's square this up. You subscribe to the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I will pay this ticket, and we'll both be on our merry way. There's nothing I love more than trying to bargain in a situation where I have no leg to stand on. Because you kind of have nothing to lose. I don't know. I'm not, I'll be honest, I'm not the most confident person, but I think any confidence I have, it's definitely not coming from my looks. It's definitely not coming from my smarts, but it is coming from, my ability to, BS my way out of things. Which, here's the thing, I could see the negatives in that. I could see how that's maybe not, the healthiest, so to speak. But listen, you gotta work with what you're working with. And if I'm able to kind of pull stuff out on the fly, let's do that. It's called being creative. I'm creative. In my younger years, at times, it's been also called lying. But we figured it out. We're good. I trust me, Anyway, I hope everyone had a great week. We are so firmly in July, it's not even funny. I'm going to mark that down as a potential podcast title. But we're so in July that it's almost August. And in fact, normally around this time of year, because here's the thing. I didn't realize how much I exist in seasons than when I started the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Now, I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg. I don't know if I just needed something to talk about, so I was talking about what was around me. I don't know if this is how it's always been. But, we are in late July. I've detailed on this podcast how I have bought a word? I have procured candy corn at this moment in July. And I'm starting to see on the Reddit threads, the pumpkin stuff is starting to come out. And it actually makes me sad. I think we need to halt it for a little bit. It isn't even August yet. And I get in some places they go back to school sooner than later, so that really is kind of the discourse or whatever. If you're back in school in 3 weeks, yeah, maybe we start adding a splash of pumpkin spice into your morning coffee. But if you still have over a month of summer and you're not going back till after Labor Day, you're probably very confused, concerned, and you probably almost feel like your summer's being ripped away from you a little bit. So let's all just be mindful that we all have different schedules. There are also some of us, aka me, who it doesn't really matter to me that it is going to be fall. Well, it does on a spiritual sense, but I've been working. It's funny, when I was younger, I just assumed that everybody had the summers off. I thought the world just stopped. Now, I'm obviously not the brightest pumpkin in the patch, because obviously all the good pumpkins are bright. I'm obviously not the brightest pumpkin in the patch, because all I would have to do is look around me at, Target and Walmart and see, like, there are still people working, so, like, obviously not everyone is out. But I just assumed that they were, like, good Samaritans that were like, you know what, we'll take one for the team. We'll do volunteer outreach work during the summer months. I now know that is not the case. But at the time, that's where my head went. Uh-oh, we're reaching traffic. I don't like that. I hate traffic. It's just, like, so not fun. Let me try and get into the fast lane. I recently learned... Oh, this person's letting me in. That's very kind. I recently learned that, like, how you're supposed to drive, per se, is only in the right unless you're passing. Not like passing away, like passing the car in front of you. But that seems stupid. Like, we have this whole other open lane that we're just not supposed to use unless we want to pass somebody. I also do think that, like, no matter what they say, like, there is a way to fix traffic. Like, I get congestion, I get clogs, like, I get it. And obviously, like, if the roads aren't wide enough, like, there's nothing you can do. Like, where I am, our freeways aren't very wide. And I feel like if we just got an extra lane or two, it would make all the difference. But then they're telling us that you're only supposed to drive in the right lane. So we're just supposed to leave 3 essentially open lanes of traffic. Like, does that rule only apply on, like, a 2-lane freeway? I'm confused. Also, while I'm complaining about freeway rules, that was a fun term to say. Freeway rules. The fast lane, sorry, not the fast lane, but like the I found a buddy in carpooled lane is not much faster anymore. In fact, I found a buddy in carpooled last week, and I swear I was going slower, but I was too stubborn to get out of the lane that I'm normally not allowed in, because it felt like so exclusive. But I was sitting in traffic watching everyone pass me who didn't find a buddy, who didn't do the hard work of, like, arranging schedules. Maybe if they had a business they were passionate about, it just wasn't working. For me, for them. Anyway, let me just check Siri real quick and make sure she hasn't changed my route. We're all good. Siri loves to be like, oh, we're going this way. No, we're going that way. And it's like, you could have told me earlier. Also, I have this theory. It's similar to my theory on gas prices. And this is not going in the way you think it's going. But, like, I actually don't think speeding saves you much time. Like, I think when you actually get down to it, like, you would have to be going so much faster than people who speed go to actually, like, make up significant time, that, like, it's almost not worth the risk, and obviously the safety risk of doing it in the first place. Does that make sense? Like, and why I say it's similar to my theory on gas is, like, you'll be looking at the price of gas, at least where I am, where we do like dollars to liters. So it'll be like $1.50 at one place, and then it'll be like $1.45 at another place. And that sounds like, oh my gosh, such a big difference. But then when you actually do the math, it's literally like less than $2 on a fill up. And it's like, I just did all this work. I got a Costco card, which I'll never regret my Costco card. The only element of my Costco card I regret is the fact that I found out I had COVID like 6 hours later after I'd taken my picture. So for now and forever, I will always have COVID in my Costco card picture. which is a nice, like, fun fact, but maybe not how I want to live my life. Like, I don't always want to look at the back of my Costco card and see, like, I would say pre-COVID, but I guess it's actual, like at that point, if I tested positive mere hours later, like, I had COVID. Not to keep bringing up COVID. Like, are we over it? Like, do we stop talking about COVID? I know there was a spike recently, but I haven't heard, like, a COVID case in the last couple months. So that's good. Lots of flu, though. Lots of flu. I feel like, actually, allergies, they were worse than they usually are in, like, January, February. Like, I feel like allergies started early this year and then weren't so bad later on. It also hasn't been as hot this year. But then I feel like it was, like, unseasonably warm earlier this year. But then it didn't snow, so it hasn't been as cold. Are we just kind of going towards milder temperatures? Also, I don't know how relatable this is, because if you don't live in my area, which I keep saying my area and not where I live, just because, like, I don't know, I feel like you shouldn't, like, advertise that or whatever, but not that there's, like, droves and droves of people listening, but you never know. You know, how many people put something on the internet thinking, oh, no one's going to hear this. No one is going to hear this. No one is going to see this. And then people saw it and they weren't so happy about it. So I kind of live my life, not in fear, but in awareness that, like, listen, maybe, like, this podcast is good 50-50. 40-60. Like, one day this might blow up, and then do I really want people knowing my address? I mean, at that point, they won't know my address, because, like, if I blow up, like, the first thing I do is buy a mansion. So it's like I will have a new like, I couldn't give you my address my estate that I will be living in at the time of me being rich and famous and making millions off of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Because, like, I don't live there yet, because the second I make my millions, like, I'm out of there. Like, my money will not even see my own bank account. That's how fast I'm buying a mansion. With a pumpkin patch. And then I'll incorporate some sort of charity, or, like, we could do, like, fundraisers and stuff. Like, it'll be good. It'll be a functional, like, an eco-friendly, non-profit pumpkin patch. Just, it happens to be at my mansion. You know what I wonder about stuff like that? It's like, why don't we just donate the money? Like, when there's, like, a fancy gala, and I'm sure there's an answer to this, as there normally are for all of my stupid questions, but, like, you know, when you go to, like, a fancy event, I don't go to fancy events, but, like, when one goes to, like, a fundraiser, but they're serving you steak, it's like, couldn't we just go to McDonald's? Or, like, couldn't this be a not sit-down meal, and then we just donate that money? It's like we're spending all this money to make money, but, like, imagine if people just donated the money on top of the money that we were already spending. It's just something to think about, and then it also gets me thinking, like, do I have to think of everything? Because the answer truly is no. Like, I know, like, the world existed for so much longer than I have been a part of it, right? So it's like, obviously, are we thriving? I don't know. But, like, obviously everyone has been able to figure it out without me. But, like, sometimes I have these good ideas, and, like, surely someone's thought of this. And again, they usually have. But, like, what if they hadn't? Like, I wonder what it feels like to be the first person to have a good idea. Or the first person to have, like, a specific good idea. What a burden, honestly. Like, I would feel stressed. I'd be like, oh my god, I have this good idea, now I have to do something with it. Like, this gift has been given to me, and now I have to share it with the world. I'm stressed out just thinking about it. Thank God I'm an idiot. There is a lot of power in just being like, yeah, I'm kind of stupid. I'm a bit dumb. I could be brighter. Lean in, you know? So Siri switched up again. She loves to do that. I think it's a positive thing. I think she's doing some, like, route planning for me, and I'm complaining, but, like, stick to the script. Like, I'm not what am I? What's something that doesn't stick to the script? A kindergartner in their first Christmas play? I love those videos of, like, there's always, like, the kid who is, like, so not interested in doing the actions at the ballet recital, or, like, is, like, staring off in the corner, or, like, waving to their dad, or just, like, distracted. Like, that's always, like, I will never say no to going to, like, a school production of something. I just feel like there's so much to observe with, like, the parents, and then, like, which parents are in, like, the background doing the actions. Like, there's always, like, the teachers, like, in the back, like, really going for it, trying to, like, hype up all the kids. Like, it's a fun environment. I would say that's where I thrive, like a school Christmas concert, a school holiday concert. And then there's always, like, not, like, a bunch of food, but, like, light refreshments. Like, you can get, like, a Nanaimo bar, or, like, honestly, a piece of fruitcake. We're about 6 months from my last piece of fruitcake, and 6 months until my next piece of fruitcake. So that's kind of where the withdrawals start. But knowing that there might be some candy corn coming up the pike. Is it coming up the pike or coming up the pipe? I don't like either of those options. But knowing that candy corn is around the corner, the candy corner, is it's good to know. It does make it a bit easier. Like, we're starting to ease into the fall flavors. Even though you could rewind this 10 minutes, and I was complaining about that, like, I'm more about an ease than everything pumpkin. Although I get it, like, these companies, these brands, they probably spend, like, years thinking of, like, what's the next flavor, what's the next fall trend, what's the next summer trend, that, like, you want to be able to sell it more than, like, 2 months. Although I feel like with fall especially, like, summer you don't get as much time, because it's not, I feel like in a lot of places it's not as hot. It's not like peak summer weather for very long. Whereas fall, you can kind of doesn't matter the weather. Like, it's not like you're making ice cream. Like, you're making pumpkin spice Oreos. Like, you can sell those really from, like, September to, if you wanted to stretch it to January, you could, because it's, like, December, still kind of those, like, pumpkin-y flavors. Not straight pumpkin, but, like, seasonal. Maybe throw in a gingerbread. But, like, a summer ice cream flavor. You got, like, 2 months that it's really hot in some places. So, like, you gotta start selling. Although I've noticed recently that there's been a s'mores, one, resurgence. I feel like everything is s'mores flavored. But 2, I think people, like, we've started to classify it. I feel like last year it was starting to be classified as a fall flavor, which in theory makes all of the sense and none of the sense. The sense that it makes is, like, yeah, okay, I get it, like, marshmallowy graham cracker. Like, it's not the most unfall. You got the chocolate in there, but the problem is the s'more is summer. You know, you're not lighting fires in fall, but maybe you are. I've never been camping, and I assume if I ever do go camping, it will be in the summer. But maybe not. Maybe not. Because, yeah, I've definitely seen an uptick in just, like, the s'mores flavor in general, but specifically last fall. It's like, it stuck around. It was, like, the flavor that didn't go away. Whereas pumpkin spice, you know, God Lover was the flavor that went away. Although, again, even that can stick around a bit longer. Whereas, like, blueberries, like blueberry season, I feel like is 2 weeks. I feel like by the time I saw a mango in the grocery store, like a fresh mango, because it was mango season, I feel like the next day the season ended. And that's my only problem with fruit. I actually like fruit. I love fruit, open to fruit. But the problem is, if I want a bag of Cheetos, the bag of Cheetos is ready for me. If I want an avocado, I might have to wait 3 weeks. Like, and then for some reason, some avocados go riper faster, and some take actual years, days, months. Like, it's like, can we just hurry this up? Like, can we get it moving here, please? So it's always that push and pull, you know? Because maybe by the time, you know, my dragon fruit is ripe, maybe I didn't want dragon fruit that day. But I better want dragon fruit the next day, because if I wait an extra day, then it's going to be moldy. Or I guess, does fruit go moldy? If not moldy, then just like not prime. Whereas hot Cheetos are like kind of always in their prime. I mean, you can let the bag go stale, which like I can't say I've ever done that. Like it's never been an issue. It's like I saw this recipe, and it's like what to do with leftover Krispy Kremes. It's like, what is a leftover Krispy Kreme? Like, I don't think that's like an oxymoron. No one just is like having an abundance of leftover donuts. That's never been a problem. Unless you're like a bakery that like you can only sell, you know, stuff fresh from the day. In which case, just sell it cheaper the next day. That's the donuts I buy. Are you kidding? You know, you get up on a Saturday, you maybe make a cup of your own coffee, but like not too much, because you know you'll have some caffeine at the donut shop later. If you have a dog, maybe you walk the dog. You walk to the local donut shop and you say, what a nice Saturday for some donuts. Do you have any stale ones? That's how my days go. And you know what? I live a great life, so there is that. And there will always be that. And you can't really tell. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Actually, I'm not being fair. The donuts aren't stale. Why is no one in this lane? Do you ever see, like, there's just one lane empty, and it's like, well, what do you know that I don't know? Like, what is waiting for me at the end of this empty lane of the freeway during rush hour traffic? Apparently nothing. Apparently nothing. Oh, also, why are we fixing everything at like right now? Every road I have to take has construction on it. And like, I appreciate the hardworking people trying to make, you know, my commute eventually better, but it's like, what about now? I saw a sign, I kid you not, that said expect delays until 2028. Now, I am constantly sort of confused as to what year it is anyway, so like, is that far? I don't know. Is that 1 year? Is that 4 years? I'll have to get on my calculator. But like, 2028. It's not tomorrow. So it's like, is it really worth fixing if it's going to cause like 4 years of chaos? Again, I'm not saying it's not. I don't know everything. I know next to nothing. But what I do know is that is a very long time to wait. And I don't want to do it. And they didn't ask me. And no one called me. And I have some questions. I will eternally, like, I will not feel complete until I am on some sort of board. I don't know what. I don't know when. Definitely don't know how, because I believe boards are for rich people. But like, until I have made my way onto some sort of committee just to give my opinion and then turn around and go home, I will not have made it. I don't want to like be like the chairman of the board. No, I just want to be like person A or whatever. Honestly, I'll take person G. Like, I don't have to be an important member. I can be the least important member of the board, but at least I made it to the board. And then I can like not make the decisions, but give input. Or maybe be the person that's like, ooh, I would be like the contrarian. Or the person who's always like, well, to play devil's advocate, it's like, you really are the devil. Actually, you know what I do hate? And I don't hate many things, but like, if I had one, what is that called? When the people are like, oh, it's a cringy word that I don't like. Or term, rather. Pet peeve. If I had one pet peeve, which I don't understand, oh, sorry, it cut out. And I did talk for a couple minutes, but I can recap what I was saying. I was saying my pet peeve, other than the word pet peeve, is when someone asks your opinion, but then only gives you reasons why your opinion was wrong. And it's like, well, okay, well, that's totally fine. I'm usually wrong. Listen to all of these episodes. I knew not to ask me that, but you did ask me, and then made me like formulate an opinion, and then you're not going to use it anyway. So like, just do you. I'm all about people just doing you. You don't have to listen to me. So it's like, why involve me just to tell me that I was wrong? And it's not that I don't like hearing I was wrong. I'll say I was wrong more than anybody. But it's like, let's not pretend that I'm, the chairman of the board, and you're asking me for advice, and it turns out I'm just like, member number G. See, exactly, always wrong. So yeah, just do you. If you know what you want to do, that is amazing. You go for it. Don't let me stop you. Oh, I think this person wants to go in. I also made a realization that the construction I've been complaining about, from what I'm seeing, just kind of driving by, does fix a couple issues that I've also been complaining about. So I'm coming around to the idea that maybe it's not pure evil. However, I'm not firm on that stance yet. I still think it might be pure evil. Maybe not pure evil, but like there's elements of evil. Evil is a spectrum. We're not all good or all bad. Except those Oreos that came out a couple years ago that were salted caramel brownie. Those were all good. There was no evil in that. I couldn't even pretend. I cannot lie to you. They were like salted and it was like caramel, but not like a caramel cream. I feel like I talk about these Oreos all the time. Those and the Neapolitan ones. Like, bring those back. Why did you take them away in the first place? And the carrot cake. Bring that back. And if you do another Oreo, if you're listening, if you do another iteration of the cinnamon flavor, I'm done with you. Not actually. I could never be. But like cinnamon bun, churro, tiramisu, like I love all those flavors. You're giving us the same flavor. I'm not even saying all of those things in real life are the same flavor, but the flavor that they presented was the exact same. Like, they just repackaged the same, and then they did like a mystery flavor that was the same damn flavor. I'm like, this is the cinnamon one, and you're just gonna call it something else. And like, no offense, it's not even that good. Bring back Neapolitan. Honestly, bring back the Swedish fish ones. I don't think I ever tried those, but I wish I did. Okay, even carrot cake, to be fair, like, it has that cinnamony, like, their version of it. It's like cream cheese and cinnamon. How is that not the cinnamon bun Oreo? Like, do you think we're dumb? I'm a little bit dumb. Just a smidge. But yeah, those Neapolitan ones, or the salted caramel, with like it was like actual caramel and like actual pieces of salt. Nothing like it. There really is nothing like an Oreo. I'm sorry, there's not. And I think they just discontinued the peanut butter pie ones. Didn't love that. Didn't love waking up. I didn't love waking up to that news. But I guess not everything's about me. I also haven't had an Oreo in a while, so I'm kind of a poser. But like, just, you know, just bear with me. That's all I ask. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a great week. I think that's enough of me for 1 week. I'm going to go comb through all these potential titles and try and pick one. I hope everybody has a great week. If you like what you heard, you can go to podcasts.nobodyaskedforthis.podbean.com. On there, you can check out all our links to all of the places you can listen to the show. Apple, Spotify. You can just straight up listen to the show on there. And yeah, I really appreciate you spending time with me, taking some time out of your day to listen to me yap, if you did. And yeah, have a great day. Goodbye.